bold bakers. So we have made donuts here before on Bigger Bolder Baking, but today we are making chocolate cake donuts. And I'm going to show you how you can make your own DIY donut tin so you don't need to go out and buy any special equipment. So let's get baking. There is no yeast in these donuts, it's more of a cake batter, and you guys have already made cake with me, so you have got this recipe nailed. We're going to add all of our dry ingredients into the sieve. Flour, sugar, brown sugar, cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. And then we're going to sift them all together. When using cocoa powder in a recipe, I always like to sieve it because it does have a tendency to have lumps, and once they're in your batter, it's really hard to get them out. So make sure you give it a good sieve. So just set this bowl to the side, and now we're going to get started on mixing our wet ingredients together. So into your jug, crack in some eggs. Our next ingredient is sour cream, or you can use buttermilk or yogurt. Now we just made sour cream as part of our bold baking basics. It's really easy to make, so make sure you check out that video. Sour cream, yogurt and buttermilk in cakes, they make it really tender and moist, so it's a great addition. Next up is some vanilla extract, also homemade. If you don't have that, you can always leave it out. I just think chocolate and vanilla work so well together. And then lastly, we're going to add in some butter that has been melted and is now at room temperature. We're just going to whisk this in. You want to make sure it's at room temperature so it doesn't set on the other cold ingredients. And then just give it a good whisk up. Once that's mixed, we're going to add it straight into our dry ingredients. And then just whisk it all together until it forms a batter. You know my rules about whisking flour, just do it nice and gently. We don't want to over mix as it'll toughen our donuts. There you go, just takes a few seconds. And that's it. You can tell a lot by a batter, and I can tell these are going to be fantastic donuts. Now we're going to prepare our tin, and you're not even going to believe how we do it. So I don't want you to have to go out and buy a donut tin just for one recipe, but if you look in your cupboards, you probably have a cupcake tin, and you probably have some tin foil, and that's what we're going to use to make our own. So this is a large square of tin foil. It's around 6 inches by 6 inches. You can do a little bit bigger even. What you want to do is take your finger, and we're going to create the same shape that a donut tin has. We're going to create that little bit that sticks up in the middle, just like this, and then we are going to bring up the sides. Just stay with me, it's going to make sense in a minute. And then what we're going to do is take that and put it into our cupcake tin, and then push it really well into the sides of the tin. And voila, you have your own homemade donut tin. I love this idea in case you haven't noticed. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to do a few more and fill up our tin. Make sure you push your tin foil well into the corners so you have more room for your donut. Once your tin foil is done, take some melted butter and a brush, and we're going to grease all of the tin foil. So I have lots of great tips just like this one in all of my videos. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, tap that subscribe button. So our next step is to pipe our donuts. Now it's always much handier if you have a piping bag to pipe it in, otherwise you can just use spoons. Pipe into your tin foil shells and just go around 2/3 of the way up the tin. The donuts will rise a good bit while baking, so just make sure you give them room for that. Now if you're vegan or dairy free, it's really easy to substitute the ingredients in this recipe. And for eggs, I recommend using applesauce. And that's it, homemade donuts made in a homemade donut tin. These guys are ready for the oven. Bake your donuts at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for roughly 10 to 12 minutes. So while our donuts are baking, this is a great time to make your glaze, so when they come out of the oven, you can dip them straight away. In a large bowl lined with a sieve, we're going to add in some icing sugar. And then because we're making a chocolate glaze, we're going to add in some cocoa powder. Now all you want to do is just sift these two ingredients together. Get out any lumpy bumpy bits. I feel like when it comes to donuts, icing is even more important than other treats. It really can make a donut. And I like how you can get a little bit of icing and a bit of donut in every bite. Next, we're going to add in just a little bit of milk to bring it all together. So what I like to add to my glaze is a little bit of vanilla extract and a pinch of salt, and this just adds so much more flavor to your glaze and to your donuts in general. And then just take your whisk and whisk it all together. If your glaze is a little bit too runny, add more sugar, and if it's too dry, add a little bit more liquid. Just whisk it until it's smooth and there's no more lumps, just like this. Okay, perfect. Now the donuts take no time at all to bake, and I actually think they're done, so we're gonna go check on them. These chocolate cake donuts look amazing, and they only took 10 minutes to bake. They're nice and firm on top, and you can tell they're nice and soft underneath. Once your donuts have cooled, you can take them out of the tin foil, and all you have to do is just carefully peel it back, minding our little cake. Give it a bit of a shimmy off there, and there is a chocolate baked donut without the need of a donut tin. Next, just dip your donut lightly into your glaze, and then shake off any excess. Place onto a cooling rack, and then of course, my favorite part, sprinkles. Go ahead and continue dipping the rest of your donuts. These little donuts are so incredibly easy to make, and they are for sure showstoppers. Just look at how pretty they are with the chocolate and the sprinkles. So these little donuts almost look too good to eat, but that's not happening. I'm going to eat one. But I just want to show you guys what they're like on the inside. Do you see how cakey and moist they are? This is a beautiful little cake in the shape of donuts. I mean, what could be sweeter? If you loved these donuts, then make sure you share this video and add them to your baking list, because you will not regret it. Tap that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos, and I'll see you back here next week for more bigger, bolder baking. Thank you to every single bold baker out there for building such a wonderful community.